Birthday parties, Christmas time, Easter eggs, these delightful celebration foods usually contain high sugar and, as you might recognise, are associated with a rise in your child's energy followed by a sharp decline in their behaviour. I'm talking about the sugar blues, that ecstatic state your child enters after eating sweet foods, followed closely by irritability, tantruming and dismal deeds. In as much as we parents love to surprise our children with treats and sweets at these occasions, I'm sure most would agree that the behavioural lows that follow the sugar highs can be overwhelmingly dramatic. So let's explore just how sweet foods manipulate our child's behaviour. Long ago, our ancestors carried about their daily activities with bodies fueled by collected plant materials. Vegetables, leaves, root, bark, nuts and fungi were common fare, and milk and meat if they were lucky. In many ancient civilizations, the possession of honey and fruits were a rarity and a treat. The scarcity didn't matter though. Everyone's bodies functioned well and children never lacked any energy. Please understand that humans are designed to primarily function on simple sugar called glucose. However, it isn't necessary to eat sweet foods to regularly obtain glucose. There are specialised functions within the human body dedicated to supplying this energy source from the diet. Complex carbohydrates and sometimes fats and proteins are broken down and converted into a steady flow of blood glucose. People are also equipped with energy storage areas in their bodies, such as glycogen and fat, to draw upon in times of need. Now, fast forwarding throughout history a little, a few hundred years after the first Easter, early historical recordings reported a reed that gives honey without bees. Whatever could that refer to, a reed that gives honey without bees? None other than cane sugar. It took centuries for the fame of sugar to spread throughout the old world. During the industrial era, when agriculture expanded, cane sugar became readily accessible and cheap to buy. It quickly evolved from being an occasional condiment to a regular participant in many contemporary food recipes. However, there is a sinister reason why its popularity bloomed at an insatiable rate. It has to do with a biochemical reaction in the human body. Sugar is addictive. There is a neurological pathway from the mouth up to the brain's happy registry, also referred to as the pleasure centre or the reward centre. Drugs find their way there unaided, and sugar forges a highway along the same route. When sugar is consumed, blood glucose levels dramatically rise and the brain's pleasure centre is stimulated, resulting in energy, exuberance and gratification. You've probably felt it and seen it in your kids. Parents, just for your information, alcohol is basically sugar. Okay, so the blood sugar level goes up, stimulating the happy centre of the brain. But soon these levels fall to a low point, leaving children irritable and squealing for more, and you probably cranky. However, this up and down emotional cycle starts to create a physical dependency on fixing on sugar foods to avoid feeling the lows. Now, consider that scientists say our children's taste buds perceive sweetness more quickly and of a higher intensity than an adult's. And it is known that most habits start early in life. Parents, it's so important to limit sugary and processed foods to your child. So moving right along, our bodies and your children's bodies are not designed to process sugar in large quantities on a regular basis. Eventually, the systems controlling energy conversion within the body can become exhausted, and long-term effects are physical dysfunctions such as diabetes, obesity, premature aging, immune suppression, depression, ADHD symptoms. Investigate the ingredients labels on your current food items. You may be surprised to find that savoury foods such as potato chips and rice crackers often include sugar. Be aware of the many names for which sugar is disguised: corn syrup, dehydrated cane juice, dextrose, fruit juice concentrate, glucose, high fructose corn syrup, honey, invert sugar, lactose, maltodextrin, malt, maltose, maple syrup, molasses, raw sugar, rice syrup, saccharose, sorghum syrup, sucrose, syrup and treacle, my goodness me. One may ask then, should we deny children the pleasures of sweet treats? I would think not. Though to promote good health, limit sweets and treats. To beat the sugar blues, make sure your child eats a solid meal or at least a healthy snack before treats. because the proteins, fats and complex carbohydrates contained in that meal will help slow the rate at which the sugar enters the bloodstream. You could also replace party food with treats containing less sugar and healthy ingredients. Perhaps consider a non-confectionery treat to reward an achievement or a good behaviour, such as praise or stickers. And when you do treat your child with confectionery, please reduce the actual quantity or size of the treat. I promise you, they will survive without the excess.
Yeah!
The food in focus today is eggs. Eggs are nuggets of power containing vitamins, minerals and essential elements. They are an ideal source of protein, which is why the addition of eggs to sweet treats can help slow down the release of sugar into kids' bloodstreams. Interestingly, the humble googie egg or cackleberry is also one of the only foods containing the sunshine vitamin, vitamin D, necessary for children's strong bone growth.